Hello there. Thanks for joining us for this short review of what's been going on at Exelsys in the last year or so and some of the significant improvements that are coming in over the coming few months. So you're joining myself, Matt Ball, and also John Stoddart, and we look after sales and partnerships in Northern Europe. So what we're going to start by doing is talking a little bit around the areas of enhancement. Just to remind you about Exelsys and its capabilities, you've got the standard edition, which you see at the top here in dark blue, employee management, absences, training, and structures and position assignments. And then in the professional edition, performance management, so appraisals and similar, and then recruitment management, of which there have been many improvements over the last 6 to 12 months. And then a number of useful features around event management, disciplinary actions, especially alerts and notifications, which a lot of our customers get a huge amount of value from, and the to-do tasks. And then our optional modules down the right-hand side. All of these are add-on modules. So everything on the left-hand side is paid per user per year. Everything on the right-hand side in orange can be added as an additional item that sits on top of that cost, most of which are charged at a few £100 a year. In some cases, are charged per user depending on the functionality. So what we're going to start by doing is to talk about the areas where we've been developing, and then look at the roadmap in overview, and then delve into those in more detail. So John, maybe you want to talk just through a few of these areas we're focusing on.
Yeah, sure. So following on from Exelsys Connect, there's really four areas where the roadmap is going to move forward in 2024. So the application itself, there are always additional functionality going into that. Third-party integrations. This is especially a sort of in and around recruitment, job boards, digital signatures, mobility and multi-channel. We are focusing a lot more on Teams and adding that as another channel. And there's, I'd say, the one place in the whole platform where the most development, where things have got better most and quickly, is in recruitment, and that's looking really really good now.
Very good. And maybe talk to us about the timelines here. Obviously, there were some great announcements at Exelsys Connect, and there are a lot of people there who are excited about some of these things. So, what are the big parts of this that you think?
The sort of highlights for the roadmap for me, especially, is much more functionality being available on Teams as well. Teams is being adopted by lots of businesses to sort of remove the use of email internally. So a lot of the functionality that you find currently in the app is appearing on Teams. Yeah. So that'll be, a lot of ways of people to sort of do their simple HR transactions. There's more another channel to be able to do that. Yeah. Other ones that really stand out were version 11. Version 11 has really speeded up the whole of the platform. It's really apparent when you're doing large reports where you're interrogating the whole of the database. That's really pretty quick now. Also, I mentioned online recruitment. There's lots of developments there, and we'll show those in a bit more detail. And the more digital signatures. We started off with one. It's sort of by Q3 there'll be 3 options there. So that's pretty significant.
One thing I was going to mention as well, which you'll touch on later on, John, is the deployment of AI into various parts of the application, just to make things.
Yeah, we have our first bit of AI live in the platform.
Don't spoil the.
I won't spoil the fun.
Okay, so let's look now at the areas of significant improvement. So, John, maybe you can talk us through a little bit more detail, what's been done, what's to be done, and which ones are really standing out again for you here.
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, V11 is already delivered. Really made the platform a lot quicker. I think they were talking about about a 50% improvement in time, especially in things where there's a heavy load.
Yeah.
Creating reports. Online recruitment, it's the changes have allowed much companies to use it in a much in the way that they want to. So there's different ways of configuration for each vacancy. um, you're allowing different sort of questions for interviewing an applicant. Killer questions is really all around setting sort of minimum standards, so a candidate will be considered, will be taken forward, and that's sort of around levels of experience or education. You can set this is a this particular role needs somebody with a degree, and if somebody doesn't fulfill though that sort of level, then their application won't go forward. The workflow around job offers is improved and faster, so you can get sign off much more quickly. And there's, as well as improved workflow, this approval system. So there's two lots of approvals you can have. You can set up an approval workflow for a new role, and there's another workflow that if you've offered a job to somebody, but they require a salary which is beyond what was previously agreed internally. There's another workflow to approve that higher salary or additional benefits going out. So that's really good.
And there was one other thing I was going to mention here, which is that following the recruitment process, we have the checklists. So that means that you can have
Yeah.
onboarding checklists, which allow you to assign tasks very, very quickly to appropriate people in the business. So that means that, at the point of hire, then you're really optimizing the onboarding of that person, and you can push all of those tasks to people in the business as long as you're using the professional edition.
It's a really good experience now, from sort of going out going out and putting a job out there via lots of different means, right the way through to getting somebody onboarded properly and into the business. I think it make a big difference.
So let's look at a few of the other items then, John, because we've got a good full list to get through. So talk to us about some of those other features that are coming in.
So the projects module is one which revolves. It's really for companies that are very much into using projects in Business Central, where they're doing job costings, and even looking at employee time going through to invoices. So that module is going to be improved. Succession planning is another one, where within an organizational chart, you can start to put in who would be who would be your proposal as the replacement if somebody were to leave.
Hmm.
OData is really important in the big scheme, in the big Microsoft scheme. Excuse me. Um, it allows interrogation of data and really sort of drilling into reporting, and we're tweaking the API for that, and making that much more user friendly. And the last one, which I really like, which is the soft button for clocking in and clocking out, which is on the app. That is geofenced, so that somebody will have to be within a reasonably short distance of their working location before they can actually before they're allowed to sign in.
Very good, excellent stuff. So I don't think we stop here. I think we've got a whole additional page, John. So take us through some of these other ones. I think these are kind of smaller enhancements, but
Thanks for giving me a nanoseconds rest there. Give feedback. So there's feedback forms so that employees can give feedback back into the business. There's also another one around giving kudos. So that's identifying and being able for employees to say that their colleagues have been especially good or noteworthy. The salary increases is a sort of very fine sort of piece of improvement where salary increases can be based on other aspects from within the platform, and that sort of if you're using appraisals, so somebody's appraisals can be used to help judge what the salary increase or absences KPIs. So you're starting to see a sort of tie-in between different modules.
Yeah.
Like I said, electronic signatures, two more of the big players, DocuSign and EchoSign, are being integrated. That's good, but you do need to. DocuSign and EchoSign are based on sort of, I think they're monthly subscriptions. So so you need to be using those more regularly. User-defined forms, it's just adding an extra ability to put more detail into forms. So it's an ability to create forms which are much more aligned with how your business wants them. It's just extra functionality in there. And also we're putting extra detail into employee benefits and how those are held within the system.
And I think a lot of these are on the roadmap and kind of in development right now, John. So we're going to see these in the second half of the year. Is that right?
That's right. We're nearly halfway through the year already, so some of these are already delivered. But in addition to that, the second half of the year we'll see lots of these coming through, and all these are, they're all part of the subscription price.
Yeah. Yeah. So no need to do anything or make any changes. They're just delivered to the users and available for use once they're rolled out.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So
we have
this
a few
next one.
items here, just a couple of things around data retention and then a little bit around AI, John. So do talk us through these
Yeah.
points.
So HR platforms, it's extremely important to have good data retention policies, compliant with GDPR, and anonymization of past employees, candidates. You need to have, so there's lots more automation around anonymization. So you can set up that at a specific period of time, say 6 months after an employee has left or an applicant applied, then their personally identifiable data information will be anonymized automatically. It's a really good way of keeping your system cleansed and compliant. And you can have different rules for different countries.
Yeah, that's ideal. Exactly. And then the final points I think we wanted to talk about today was around we since we've done recruitment in some detail, we move on to the AI.
Let's just jump over that one. Yeah.
Very good.
So this is quite exciting actually. Again, it's in recruitment. So it is one of those areas where we've seen a lot of development and there's more to come. And that's the first bit of a sort of AI co-pilot. And it's all around creating vacancies. So you'll see where the red arrow is. There is generate text by AI, and it will help you write job vacancies and define that by using an AI co-pilot. So that's great to see that starting to emerge into the platform, and that
Yeah.
is live now.
And I believe that we'll be seeing a lot more of that kind of use of Copilot and AI over the coming months as we find areas where it makes sense and where AI can be, can be helpful in reducing the time to achieve certain tasks.
I think there's a lot of scope for making HR platforms really powerful by using this type of functionality, not just to move through repetitive tasks much more efficiently and accurately, but also you're going to get a lot more insight out of the platform because of these types of developments.